The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What's going on, guys? Welcome again to the Athletic Asian Podcast. It's your boy, Nathan Nguyen. Just came off recording the first episode of the Moneyball series. If you don't know what that is, it is basically a gaming series where I am in control of the Oakland Athletics on the video game MLB The Show 23. And basically, we're going to win it the Moneyball method. You know, we're going to be cheap. We're going to not sign major free agents. Maybe that'll change. But the main goal is to win a World Series by just using the Moneyball method. Moneyball has been one of my favorite movies of all time. My friend Isaac recommended it to me, and I always said I'll watch it eventually. And I didn't for so long, and then I found it online. I watched it, and it was just one of the best movies of all time. It just shows that how smart the A's organization was. Billy Beane, who was acted by Brad Pitt, and it was just a great movie. If you haven't watched it, I recommend you do. If you're a big baseball fan or just a sports fan in general. But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about football. That, as you can see, wearing my Giants hat today, and the offseason, I know for the Giants specifically, and that's going to be the main topic of today's episode, is the New York Giants and the situation with Saquon Barkley and Dexter Lawrence, and we'll also dive into the draft for New York, because the NFL draft will almost 2 weeks, no, less than 2 weeks away. You know, it's going by so fast. So today is the 18th, so very excited for that and see what the Giants decide to do and go from there. But first off, I want to dive into Saquon Barkley and Dexter Lawrence and why are they not at the voluntary offseason program, and just go from there. All right, here we go. So let me get this right. Nope. Yes, perfect. That's what I want. Okay, so first off, for those of you who do not know who in the world Saquon Barkley is, maybe you've been living under a rock, maybe you don't watch sports as much, maybe you don't focus on the New York Giants too much, which honestly, I really don't blame you. A lot of my friends are 49ers fans or Raiders fans or Chiefs fans, some of them, Cowboys fans, some of them, Eagles fans. It's all over the place, okay? So if you don't follow the Giants as much, it's okay. You know, I really don't blame you for doing so. But first off, let's talk about Saquon Barkley. All right, Saquon is 26 years old as of right now. He played his college ball at Penn State. He was drafted second overall by the Giants in 2018, had 1,307 rushing yards in his rookie season, had 91 catches and 15 total touchdowns as well in that same year. Granted, the receptions was pretty much thanks to Eli Manning. I mean, that guy, he trusted Saquon a lot with checkdowns in the backfield. I'm not saying all Saquon's catches were checkdowns, but Eli, depended on him a lot for Eli to get rid of the ball quickly, and Saquon can make something out of nothing. We've seen that on multiple occasions, not just his rookie season. Saquon being able to turn something in front, turn. The point is Saquon can make plays. Okay, I don't know the catchphrase, but Saquon he can make plays. Okay, we're gonna leave it at that. But he did win Rookie of the Year in 2018. And honestly, that just showed Giants fans, hey, maybe choosing a running back second overall was not, maybe not a bad idea after all. We have another playmaker that can make plays in the backfield, can catch passes and whatnot. That's great. 2019 was pretty much a similar season. He had over 1,000 rushing yards and whatnot. But things really took a turn in 2020 when he tore his ACL in week 2 against Chicago. That was really heartbreaking for a lot of fans to see. He was going out of bounds, and as he was I think he got hit again or whatnot, but he was being tackled out of bounds, and the tear just came, and that was it. I think he was screaming in pain. I think it was just terrible to watch. After that, he only played 15 total games from 2020 to 2021. And then many Giants fans went from, choosing a running back second overall isn't that bad to, okay, I see why you don't do that. You have a lot of teams that draft running backs in like the 5th, the 6th, or 7th round, and they end up winning the Super Bowl. And we have a team in our Giants that drafted running back second overall in Saquon Barkley, and we haven't won anything other than a playoff game recently. And we'll dive into the recently part in a bit. But Saquon, this is the 2022 season was pretty much his make it or break it year in terms of, okay, is he gonna be back? Can he show it? Can he show his old self? Can he show the new regime led by GM Joe Shane, led by head coach Brian Daboll? Can he show them that he's still capable of being the same guy? He said it in a press conference, and not a press conference, but he said in an interview, say, "Hey, I feel like I can be the same guy. I want to be here." And he showed in 2022 that, hey, he is still that same guy. 295 carries, 1,312 rushing yards, had 10 touchdowns total, also had 57 catches and for 338 yards. I had that one amazing catch where he cut it out of the backfield, was going to the right, and then reversed to left. This was against Chicago. I forgot what week it was, but it was outstanding by Saquon. He was great, and I'm just proud of him for coming back from injury, showing the world that, hey, I'm back, and if I'm healthy, I can make plays. In the wild card game against the Vikings, because the Giants made the playoffs last season, very proud of him, of course. Finished the season 9-7-1, the regular season that is, and making the postseason, going to Minnesota. Had 9 carries, 53 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then against Philadelphia in the divisional round, it wasn't that great by him. But that's Saquon Barkley for you. If you don't know who he is, or maybe you've been lost in the shuffle, maybe you think he sucks. I get it, but he showed last season that he's pretty decent himself. So what's this holdout situation? Why are we hearing that Saquon Barkley is not the offseason program? Should we be panicking? For those of you who don't know, the Giants placed a non-exclusive franchise tag on Saquon Barkley this past offseason. It was going to be a 1-year, $10 million deal. Basically, if he signed, they could negotiate a long-term deal in the future, possibly next season if he were to sign. And honestly, if he signed it, it would have been beneficial for the Giants. But this isn't the best thing for Saquon Barkley because, that's not a lot of money at first. And even though you showed last season that you're capable of being the same guy that the Giants drafted you for in 2018, the team doesn't really trust you. But that may be Saquon's mindset. I obviously don't know Saquon like that. That might be his mindset. But see, I don't think the team is thinking like that because we know that the owner, John Mara and Joe Shane, the GM, they hope to reach a long-term deal with Saquon eventually. But the team seems hesitant, I think, because of just the slow running back market this offseason. I mean, we've seen Miles Sanders get signed, but it was like a 4-year, $20-something million deal or something like that. And the average per year is like, if you do the math, that's under $10 million a season for 4 years. That's not a lot of money. And Miles Sanders isn't a scrub. Like, this guy was literally the leading back on the Philadelphia Eagles and the rushing attack. Of course, rushing attack was Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders and Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell. By the way, shout out to Jalen Hurts getting paid the highest paid player in NFL history. I don't like the Eagles, but I respect Jalen Hurts. He's a good dude and he can make plays. So, back to Saquon. I get it. The Giants don't want to sign him to a long-term deal yet. And this has absolutely nothing to do with Daniel Jones and his extension this offseason. So basically, 4 years, $160 million to be exact. This has nothing to do with the Daniel Jones situation. But Barkley is not going to sign the tender. He's going to miss the offseason program, which obviously began on Monday. And this is, for me, what I think of it is, I understand where Saquon's coming from. You want that long-term deal. You want that stability. Go get your money. That's what these players want. They want to get their money, and I really don't blame him for doing so. Especially in Saquon's case, he showed in 2022 that, hey, look at me. I'm healthy. When I'm healthy, I'm pretty good. I'm on the top 5 backs in the NFL, and he showed that by being top 5 in rushing yards last season as well. So I really don't blame Saquon. I do hope he gets his money. I do understand what the team is coming from. If I'm Saquon, I'm going to wait it out too, but I don't think Saquon's going to win this argument. I do think Joe Shane's going to figure this out and maybe kind of meet in the middle with Saquon. Saquon, I believe, wanted something in the 12 or 13 million dollar per year range. So maybe Joe Shane's he's going to figure this out, but I don't think Shane will let Saquon have the upper hand here. Like I said, Shane has no beef with Saquon. I'm just saying Joe Shane has the ability to work contracts out and make the player and the team both sides happy, basically. So I do feel for Saquon, and I hope he gets his money, but also I do believe Joe Shane's going to figure this out. And hey, it's April. It's still a long ways away, and this is only voluntary offseason programming. So no reason to panic if you're a Giants fan. The same thing is for Dexter Lawrence, the defensive tackle. Now, Dexter Lawrence, the Giants picked up his fifth-year option. As we all know, Lawrence was the first-round pick of the Giants in 2019. He's 25 years old as of right now, and in his first 3 seasons, he was pretty serviceable for the team. He had 9 sacks in those 3 seasons, 38, 53, and 54 tackles respectively, I should say, from 2019 to 2021. But 2022 was sort of the breakout year for Lawrence. I mean, he had 7.5 sacks, had 68 total tackles. He had 28 quarterback hits. In his first 3 seasons, had no numbers in terms of quarterback hits near the 28 that he had in 2022. He made the All-Pro second team. He made the Pro Bowl. The team picked up his 5th-year option, but like Saquon, he wants an extension. He is not at the voluntary programs. Totally understandable. I get it. Same thing with Barkley. I do feel Lawrence deserves an extension. He was a great piece up there in the front 3, along with Leonard Williams. Lawrence, he's a havoc, man. I love him a lot, and I do hope he gets an extension. So, in summary, Saquon, Dexter Lawrence, they both want extensions. The Giants are going to figure it out. I know they're not going to let these two go, or let them be miserable or sad or mad or anything like that. I do know for sure. When I don't know, but I do know for sure the Giants are going to figure this out. So, before I go, I do want to discuss a little bit of draft stuff, and we're gonna dive into we're gonna do some more, not more, but we're gonna start doing sort of how do I say this? A reaction to some of the news from the Giants organization. They're releasing videos on like press conferences of Joe Shane talking about the offseason programming. Daniel Jones talking to the media. We're gonna be reacting to those in the future. And they've released videos recently, I believe. So we're going to dive into that in the future. But before we go, I do want to discuss the whole draft stuff. Let's be completely honest. The Giants did not have a true number 1 wide receiver in 2022. In fact, I don't even remember the last time the Giants had a really true number 1 guy. Was it Victor Cruz? Was it maybe Odell Beckham Jr.? Obviously, that's probably the best answer there. But last season, was it Darius Slayton? Was it Isaiah Hodgins? Was it Richie James? I think Richie James did lead the Giants in receiving yards, so it's pretty much Richie James. Regardless, the Giants head into this offseason. They made some moves. They got Paris Campbell from the Colts in free agency. They re-signed Sterling Shepard. They signed Jamison Crowder. They signed Jeff Smith, who Smith's going to be more of a special teams guy. But, this receiving core could use a major upgrade. As you see in the picture, that's Jordan Addison, who is a popular choice so far among these mock drafts that I've seen online. Last season had 59 catches, 875 yards, and 8 touchdowns for USC. But the main numbers that I want to look at is his 100 catch, 1,593 receiving yards, and 17 touchdowns in 2021. Granted, he was at the University of Pittsburgh in 2021, transferred to USC in 2022. But I like him. He runs great routes, great hands. He's all around one of the best receivers in this draft. So I really do like him. And if he falls to the Giants at 25, I do feel like the Giants should, try to get at him. Jalen Hyatt, the guy from Tennessee, is another great choice. This guy's fast. Addison's good speed himself, but Hyatt is quick, fast. 67 catches, 1,267 receiving yards, 15 touchdowns with Tennessee. He's someone I really like myself. And the Giants get either Hyatt or Addison. I honestly going to be a happy dude. Other choices in the later rounds, guys like Trey Palmer, Rashee Rice, If Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers, or even Jackson Smith and Jigba falls to the Giants, I do feel like that's another choice to consider as well. Just a lot of talented wideouts in this draft, more specifically in the first 2 rounds, is where these receivers are being mocked at right now. In terms of Rice and Palmer, not so much, but I do feel like the Giants are going to get a wide receiver. Cornerback is another option for New York as well. I just feel like getting a receiver in the first round might be safer, and getting a corner later in the draft will be more beneficial, because I know a guy that the Giants might or should look into, actually close by to the Giants, by the name of Garrett Williams, the guy from Syracuse University. He's a corner I like myself a lot too. I know he battled injuries, but I do feel like Williams would be a solid choice at corner in the later rounds. So I think that allows the Giants to go wide receiver at 25 and then get corner eventually in the second or third, or maybe later in the later rounds. So that's pretty much what I'm going to cover today. Like I said, we're going to be reacting to a lot more of the Giants and the videos that come out of their camp. Whether it's press conferences by Joe Shane or Daniel Jones or Saquon. Maybe we'll hear from Saquon once he gets signed. He's obviously not going to be in the building. Dexter Lawrence is allowed in the building, actually. So we'll go from there. Before we go, I do want to announce some big news. We are partnering with Fanatics. Yes, the Athletic Asian Podcast is now partnering with Fanatics, my favorite store. Obviously, my number one stop for sports gear. As you can see, wearing this beautiful Giants hat. Got this a while ago from Fanatics. Fanatics is your one-stop shop for all your sports gear. NFL, NBA, MLB, soccer, hockey, wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan, you can find stuff there on Fanatics. They always have something going on every single day, whether it's free shipping or discounts. Honestly, you're gonna get a good deal at Fanatics no matter what you get. So check it out, fanatics.com, for all your sports gear needs. And obviously with the NFL draft coming up, it's gonna be some great gear, hats, t-shirts. If you want to look like, a player that you like and that your team drafted, you can get the same hat as them on fanatics.com. Again, that's www.fanatics.com. Fanatics, your one-stop shop for all your sports gear needs. I'm your host, Nathan Nguyen. Thank you for listening or watching the Athletic Asian Podcast. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great one. Thank you very much.